you go ahead? We were attacked.
Carlos, could you begin again with a brief introduction? We'll have to begin streaming again. So give us a brief introduction and then the presentation. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you very much. So, Angela, can you wait? Should I do a brief introduction? Good day, good evening or good morning to everyone. You're all welcome to the UnityNet Africa and Diaspora usual Monday session. This is the time we all come together to discuss the African issues, the African problems, the challenges Africa is really facing, and how all of us, both residents and the diaspora team, can all work together to best find what we call the admirable solutions that will help Africa move from the current. So therefore, we have today three presenters, and we are going to start with Angela Kamara, who is from Sierra Leone, and she's working for the Ministry of Agriculture, Forestry, and Food Security in Sierra Leone, and she's going to present to us about food security, what she plans, what she is doing to contribute towards food security in Sierra Leone, and what are the challenges, what all of us can do to help Angela and Sierra Leone and the rest of Africa to promote food security. Thank you. Over to you, Angela.
Yeah, good afternoon, Mr. Carlos. Thank you very much. Good afternoon. So, as I've been saying here, we have a lot of challenges, especially in, say, agriculture sector, because we are facing a lot. The soil is fertile, we don't have the technical know-how, we don't have machineries, how to embark on agriculture. So I thought it's fit that Africa, Sierra Leone to be specific, is a big country. We don't have to eat imported rice. We don't have to eat anything that is imported. We have to produce our goods. But the challenges here that we are facing in Sierra Leone, the inputs, then the government's no support from the ministry. Since I've been in Sierra Leone, I never see any government that will stand that I'm going to support in agriculture so that we can feed. A bag of rice is 500,000. So if we stand to produce rice, we are not going to eat imported rice. Then the other challenges that we are facing here is especially this produce. We have the way to access it to the markets because the produce is not a value chain. Because when you do agriculture, you have to do a value chain so that the produce to become a value chain. How this produce to become a value chain? You have to have storage facility, you have to have capacity building training, processing machines, all this, we don't have it. So here, I said, for me, for embark in agriculture, because agriculture is the backbone in any country. We have good soil, but we are not making use of the soil because we inputs, we don't have chemicals. So embark on agriculture is very, very difficult because agriculture takes money. If you don't have money, you will not be able to do farming because farming is very, very expensive for us. So I thought that we need help because for us to do this farming, we don't have any government, any aid to stand. Said, I'm going to embark on agriculture. I'm going to help so that agriculture will be the back of Sierra Leone. No government, no NGO. Some NGO, especially in the Ministry of Agriculture, because I'm working there, some NGO came, like we have Concern Worldwide, CRS. 2018, they embark on fish pond. They renovate. As soon as they leave, everything die out. The government will not do anything because these projects came and failed, no improvements. Because they said they just came to come and help the government, but the government have to take the great responsibility so that this agriculture, this implementation will reach the farmers and the farmers use it for them to have a high yield in time of harvesting. So we find it very, very difficult. Even the rice, that's why the rice go up onto 500,000 because a bag of fertilizer is 1 million. So a local farmer bought a bag of fertilizer. So they find it very, very difficult. Even on groundnut production, maize production, and rice production, because rice is a staple food for us in Sierra Leone. But the challenges is many because we don't have access to land. Then the labor is very difficult for us, especially with the women, because the labor, we are not able to work because we don't have machines, we don't have chemical. So we find it very difficult to do these activities. So please, we are pleading to the international diaspora under UnityNet Sierra Leone diaspora for you to come on board to support us, especially this agriculture, because we want to produce a large-scale farming. We want to produce goods so that we can have storage facility. We market these goods. We have tired of eating imported goods, imported rice. We want to embark and we want to be self-sufficient for us to implement these activities. Hello?
Angela, you are loud and clear. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Are you wrapping up now? Yeah, go ahead if you are wrapping up.
The last time, no, I'm trying to is production. Maize is very, very, very difficult machine to process. We don't have the capacity building like trainings. So we need trainings, we need machinery for us sell it to the markets. And also this groundnut production. Because groundnut production, like this plump nuts that I mentioned, how to take it to the markets. Because when you sell it on a rapport, then let me say you just go in the local market. It's very, very difficult for you to have money because the groundnut is not a value chain. So we need those machines so that we can process it for it to become another good so that we can sell it to the market. Also the maize production and even the rice production, because rice is a staple food for us in Sierra Leone. So we are pleading to everybody that's here in this platform for for you to help us in Sierra Leone, because some of us have taken the front line for us to embark in agriculture. But our problem is we don't have capacity building. We don't have money. We don't have machinery for us to process. Like the farming on rice production, just 8 hours to plow, 1,200,000 euros to plow. When you pay that money to the service provider, then you have to buy the fuel also. So it's very, very difficult for us in terms of agricultural activities, in terms of Hello?
Hello, Angela.
Hello?
Can you wrap up now? Can you summarize?
Yes. Yes. I'm trying to wrap up. So, because I spoke with Mr. Carlo the last time, I said for us in Sierra Leone, especially we the women in Sierra Leone, because most of the women, they are single parents. They feed themselves. They don't have nobody to take care of their children. So the women find it very difficult. So our challenge is that we are facing with us. We need capacity building, we need inputs, and we want to embark on this agriculture. But how are we going to embark? Because we have support. So we need support. We need capacity building trainings, the youths, the women, and also the machinery. So I thank you all.
Thank you very much. We want to appreciate you. Yes, Jane, are you there?
Yes, I'm on board, sir.
Okay, go ahead. Yes, go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much for that comprehensive presentation, Madam Angela. We really appreciate you. So now we have come to that time of maybe
yeah, Jen, can I say something in relation to her presentation?
Sorry. Yeah, you can say something. Now we have come to that time whereby we want to ask questions in regards to Madam Angela's presentation. So if you have a question or a comment, a contribution in regards to the presentation, you can kindly lift up your hand and we are going to give you the opportunity to do so. So we start off with our Continental President, Dr. Carlos. You can kindly go ahead, sir.
Thank you so much, Jane. And really, Angela, thank you for your time and for your presentation. Indeed, what you presented about Sierra Leone is really the real answer, is the case. And I want to add for people to understand, for those who are here and the world to understand, as of 2020 in Sierra Leone, the imported rice in total is $134 million. For rice alone, the importation is $134 million. So you can imagine all this money goes offshore of Sierra Leone just to subsidize or to import food, just rice, which is the main staple food in Sierra Leone. It's very, very challenging. And it's all becoming the 54th largest importer of rice in the world. The 54th largest importer of rice in the world. This is really, really not good for Sierra Leone. All right. And when you look at the areas or where this food is coming, where this rice is coming alone for Brazil is 57 million. For India is $30 million. For Pakistan is $21 million. For Paraguay is $7 million. So this is really, really serious. China is there, which carries the bulk of it. So it's really, really serious. That it's high time for Sierra Leoneans to cultivate their own food. So to answer or to provide answers for Madam Angela, whilst you were not here in your last presentation, now we have the European expert chambers in Sierra Leone in Africa that is here to address issues of food security and other development sectors. So all the issues that you raise up, we have several international partners in Sierra Leone now, including the chambers, the European chambers, the EU Commission, that is ready to address issues of those nature. So all what we need from you is the office is available in Freetown, in the Western area. You can bring in your full-blown project proposal to our office and ensure that your project proposal addresses the food chain, the food chain, the full one, that looks at from the input stage to the consumer. That's exactly what we want to see. It's no more an excuse for anyone in Sierra Leone, in the west coast of Africa, to address issues of food chain or food security. You have the opportunity now. In the west coast of Africa, the 15 countries or 16 countries we have in Africa, in the west coast of Africa, agriculture, you have a minimum of 300 million euros. You can pick up $1 million or $2 or $5 or $10 million, million euros to address issues of those nature you highlighted. So don't sit down, don't relax. Ensure that you bring the right project proposal with the right partnership. We will support the process. You have the opportunity. And the rest of Africa. So the Union of European Expert Chambers is here to support that interface. Thank you, Jane.
Carlos, I have a housekeeping note. When I make you host, your view shows gallery and not speaker. And so when it streams to Facebook, it's showing only those people whose videos are present, not the speaker. So I need you to change your view to speaker so that the stream will highlight the person speaking.
All right, okay.
And I'm going to, in the interim, ask Joseph Akinola, who's my representative, if he'll be able to be here to end the meeting. If so, then Carlos, I'll just let you proceed. And one of you will end it when you get through. I'm doing something else, so I can't monitor this conversation.
All right, okay. So Lloyd, can you also help in that area? Okay, Joseph, can you also help in the technical area?
Joseph Akinola, can you unmute yourself?
Okay, great. I'm here. I can hear you clearly.
Okay, Carlos, you can proceed. I'm gonna make him host and I'll leave.
All right, so thank you very much. So Jane, over to you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Carlos, for giving us a solution to what exactly was emphasized by Mr. Michel, that we should focus on the solutions rather than the problems, because we are very much aware of the problems and the plight of Africa. It's time we get into the solution, the mitigation measures we are going to apply to address the problems. So thank you very much for the emphasis and for giving us a solution to what ails Africa. Now we go to Madam Fatmata Akam. Your hand is raised up. You can kindly come through with your question. Madam Fatmata, kindly unmute and make your contribution. You're muted, Madam Fatmata. You can kindly unmute.
Hello, are you getting me?
Yeah, you're very clear. You can kindly go ahead.
Yes, I said I want to thank Madam Jane, okay, Madam Angela, for her presentation. Thank you so much. Yeah, I just wanted to tell her like to join WAWA, the West African Women's Association, which Carlos had just talked about, because there is an organization now where we women. She said everything, because I also am doing agriculture. I did cassava, processed dairy, sorghum, and also soya beans. But the labor, it is very expensive, especially for women. So that was why I wanted to say that let her join WAWA, which is now available, so to partner with us, to support us in doing agriculture and to add value to our work. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Madam Fatmata, for your contribution. Any response to what has already been said, Madam Angela? Do you have any response? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
My response is nice. Thank you very much, Madam Fatmata. Hello? Hello?
We can
Thank
hear
you very
Go
much.
right
Okay, thank you very much, Madam Fatmata. I will try to join WAWA by the special grace of God. I will join you very, very soon. So, essentially, we women have said it all. It's very, very difficult for us to do farming, especially in Africa, because the labor is very, very expensive, very, very expensive. And we don't have no support from even the government, because the government is not paying attention in agriculture. So I thank you very much, Madam Fatmata. Very, very soon by the special grace of God.
Thank you, Madam Fatmata. We have Madam Juliet. Madam Juliet's hand is raised up. And as you come through with your contribution, kindly introduce yourself as one of the board members of UnityNet Africa and Diaspora. You can tell us where you come from and the office that you hold. Madam Juliet.
Yes. Good evening. Good evening to everyone, and good morning to those on the other side of the world. Yes, my name is Juliet Miabo. I am based in South Africa. I work in various networks locally, and I'm part of UnityNet, Africa and Diaspora. I'm one of the board members. I am responsible for areas of marketing, information technology, ICT, and communications. We also do stakeholder relations. I'm vice president in that portfolio. I work with Bishop Ayodele. I'm also part of UnityNet Women and Feminist Group and other nodes within UnityNet. I'm glad to be here. in terms of the input that has been given. Actually, before I even talk about that, I work in the areas of women, youth. My bottom line in the work that I do as a humanitarian is people. But in terms of the input that I was given, I was just, first I'd like to thank Madam for the presentation, but I just became concerned when she highlighted the problems of how expensive and the lack of support or the absence of support for Sierra Leone women. And as Mr. Michel has said and other speakers have said, we need to focus on solutions. One of the solutions could be diversion, because if you are working on finding solutions for the development of your community or your country or your family, and there's an area where you hit a bottleneck, women are generally very innovative, they're very creative. So the question is, why are they not looking at, Madam Angela, why are we not possibly looking at another alternative source of income or source of economic development for women and communities that can happen instead of focusing on the problems? And that could be part of the value chain in terms of agriculture, but it could be something else that you don't have to start on the seed part. You could start on weaving of baskets. You can start on any level where you take any material from agriculture, any material, and do some. Women are very innovative. I see that in this country. Women will take plastic and turn it into something wonderful. So maybe that could be one of the projects that you could submit, as Dr. Carlos was saying, you could submit for funding while you are looking at how you deal with the hurdles that you have in agriculture. And I'd like to encourage you that please do not look at government as a source of solution. We know that in African countries, our governments have other problems. So divert your energy to other areas and to other solutions that women will come up with, and they already have. Maybe start looking for funding in those areas. Okay, thank you so much.
Thanks, Madam Juliet. Madam Angela, do you have any response to what has been emphasized by Madam Juliet before we go to Madam Sheen?
Yeah, thank you. In 2019, we have FSA Bank. We support farmers, especially the women. They call it cash money. But when they brought this money, it's not easy for the farmers, for them to get access, because some farmers say I want to do business, because the business I want to embark on a vegetable production, because most of the farmers, most of the women, they want to do business, but they don't have the capital how to start. So also we find it very difficult for us to raise this fund for us to support the women and the farmers also. So 2018 to 2019, the project came, they said they will support women, they will support farmers. They said the money, they have to give unless you register your group into, they spoke with the minister, the director of access to the easy for us in Sierra Leone, because anything they do, they connect it to the government. As long as they connect it to the government, it's not easy for the farmers, for them to get access to it.
We are losing you, Madam Angela. Are you through?
Hello?
Hello, we have lost you. Are you through?
Yes. Are you getting me?
Okay,
Yes, I'm through.
Okay. Yeah, we can hardly hear you, Madam Angela. Maybe we can go to Madam Sheen before you connectivity issue. Madam Sheen?
Hello.
Hello, everyone. Hello to you. Hello.
Yes.
Can you hear me? Just a minute. If you're not speaking, kindly mute your microphone so that we can get communication. Kindly mute your microphone.
There's some noise.
Yeah,
in the
there's a
background.
background noise. If we can all mute our microphones so that we can hear what Madam Sheen is communicating. Yeah, thank you, Madam Sheen. You can go right ahead.
Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you clearly.
Okay. Thank you so much. My name is Chien Mukochia from Zimbabwe. Thank you so much, Madam Angela, for your presentation. If I hear you well, you said you work in the government, and I wanted to know what other programs which are there to promote the sustainability and the food security. Also following on your presentation, you were saying there is no funding and there is more of problems. As someone who works in the government, are you not sort of like clashing with your work and this other project you want to do? And I also wanted to know what is locally available, which is where you can start, which is organic, so that we sort of do away or we run away from the pharmaceuticals where we are using the chemicals and the hybrid seeds, which is continuously killing our land and our soils. No matter how much we are going to try to do the agriculture, but with the seeds and the chemicals we are using, we still stay poor. So what is locally available, which is organic, or is there any trainings or any education in regards to that in the communities, so that we can now start healing our soils? Thank you so much.
Thank you, Madam Sheen. Back to you, Madam Angela. Madam Angela. Okay, we seem not to have her aboard. Maybe she has connectivity issue. Madam Sheen, you can kindly write your question on the chat board. We are going to relay it to Madam Angela, and maybe she can respond in another meeting or when she comes aboard. Kindly do so.
Okay, thank you.
Well, I want to come in. Maybe I will not, since I am not a specialist from Angela or the Minister of Agriculture, but for me to what I learned based on our interface between my organization, the chambers, and the Minister of Agriculture, that Sierra Leone has over 5 million arable landscape that is there for agricultural purposes. But what Angela was saying, and also what Minister of Agriculture is saying, that they are handicapped or they are short with external interventions in the area of infrastructural system, as well as also capacity building or capacity gaps in addressing issues of food security in Sierra Leone. That connects to what we call the value addition, which is the local content system. So, but what the government has done, one aspect of which Lloyd presented weeks back, is the issue of the complete absence of viable seeds for agricultural purposes. And that is a big, big challenge in Sierra Leone. I mentioned earlier before this time that there are seeds our government or the private sector imports, and sometimes it's only useful for 1 year or 2 years. It's done. You can't use it to continue. And when you talk about food security, this is a big challenge around it. If a country cannot provide what we call its seeds or seedlings in order to promote food security, then there is a big question mark, a big challenge in the area of food security. The other areas you're talking about, Madam, is the decline of soil fertility. That is the use of chemicals. That is really, really serious in Sierra Leone. It's high time also the intervention of non-chemical interventions in promoting agriculture. Because, as I mentioned before, we have arable lands that are very, very good for agricultural purposes. But because of the use of chemicals, it's affecting the land space negatively. So how can we transform that level to ensure that this challenge is away? The other one is low technological inputs. That is where the capacity, we have so many gaps. How we can transform agriculture into digitalization, all right? Starting from the input to the output, e-commerce is there, all right? The use of digitalized agricultural intervention in addressing climate smart or climate change, all right? Agricultural infrastructure is also another area. So I already mentioned the area of value chain. Financial services. Yes, our farmers, they don't have that quiet or clear space of where you can go and loan to support your scheme, your agricultural intervention. They are there, but they are in a minimal scale. But now we need intervention, outside intervention. Those who can invest in agricultural large scale, they can come and invest in these areas. You provide viable skills, you provide viable technology, you provide the value chain system, those missing gaps, and you connect to the international markets. That will address the issue of food security by including what we call the permaculture system of food. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you so much. I think I'm answered.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm not an agriculturist, so just from the learning point.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you very much for addressing the question. We have our next presenter, who is Mr. Ibrahim. Mr. Ibrahim, are you ready with your presentation, sir? Ibrahim Sulemana. Are you ready with your presentation? Mr. Ibrahim Sulemana. Okay, as we are waiting on him, we are going to have another board member who is aboard. That is Mr. Leno. Mr. Leno, if you're there, if you can hear me, kindly introduce yourself to us as we wait on Mr. Ibrahim to come aboard.
Well, thank you, Madam Jane, for giving me this opportunity to introduce myself. I'm Yuma Tranquileno, UNAT member and project director, Guinea chapter, and at the same time, Continental Vice Secretary General. So I'm very pleased to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, our able leader, Mr. Leno, for that brief introduction. We go back to Mr. Ibrahim Sulemana. You are our next presenter. If you can hear me, kindly come through. Mr. Ibrahim Sulemana. Are you there, sir? Can you hear me? Okay. As we wait on him, we can have Mr. Michel. Do you have anything to contribute in regards to the presentation? Any observation?
I have quite a number of observations, but we're still skirting the issues. I agree with the speaker on the notion of food growing and recognizing the problem, but we're still talking about it as a problem. The real issue is that every community should have their own community gardens. We shouldn't be suggesting it now. It should have been operational from the first time we mentioned it 3 years ago. Unity gardens in every community, and we won't be having this food problem. And she did right. I forget her name, Kocha, that she did identify that we need to get away from the chemicals. Well, what better way than by using community gardens? We don't really trust the big guys anymore. I mean, I can remember stories. If I don't want to take too much time telling stories, but I remember a story about Zimbabwe. That I learned, we were brought tons and tons of food that the people couldn't use because they were GMO foods. And so they had all this food sitting in the warehouses. I mean, this is a system that's in place today probably as well. There's all this GMO stuff circling the world that nobody really wants, but they're forced to take it because they're starving. And frankly, I don't know the exact extent of this problem, but I know that it exists. And the mere fact that I know that it exists means that it's much larger than I imagined. Because every time I learn something on the international scene, it's always much worse than I learned it. So that's as specific as I can get to your suggestion about food. I agree with it. We're doing a food garden here in Playa del Carmen. We've only been alive here like for 3 weeks. I say alive by being formally recognized. And I now have the Commission of Indigenous Affairs in Mexico. I'm his international consultant. So I share that with you, that you may have some ideas for me to give him to light his practicalities I mean, he's one of the wealthiest landowners in Mexico, and I'm advising him now. Now, what does that mean? Well, for me, what interests that the European Commission is waiting for a proposal from Africa. If this is true, this is the lever maybe that we use. But again, I don't want to drop the lever of the UN resident coordinator. I would like the European Commission to recognize that they have to be looking at the UN resident coordinator. It's not just the fact that we recognize that that's where the problem is. We have to let the rest of the world know that there's a problem there, and the Secretary General doesn't want to hear about it. And neither does any UN resident coordinator want to hear about it, because they're getting paid to not do the job. And this is how we work on a solution. The solution is get the support of the European Commission and get them to activate the UN resident coordinators in a way that serves Africa and serves Mexico and serves Canada. Even Canada, you know, we don't have water on over 100 of our reserves because our prime minister is a hypocrite. He just invited the Pope to Canada. I don't want to get sidetracked. Let me get sidetracked on the event that Lloyd just posted up here on in the chat forum. I think this if you read this thing with my mind, all right, so you have to read it again because you've already read it with your mind. When you're reading this, recognize that it's the corporations are meeting. The corporations are meeting in Rwanda. It's not the people, it's the corporations. So this whole conference that is being called to maintain the broken system. That's its purpose. And you have to read this very carefully before you adopt any of its suggestions. I would recommend going to it if we but knew that they would do anything outside of the report they've already written. That's how these conferences work. They write a report and then they do a conference to talk about the report that they've just done. And the people they have involved, if you look at the people involved, it scares the bejesus out of me. Bejesus is a Canadian word. There's no, who's in charge? AGRA, Bayer, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundations, yada, John Deere, UK Aid, US Aid. Those are two problematic organizations that aren't doing very much to help you guys. Another one, IDRC Canada. These people all do not want, I see IKEA there. I thought IKEA was one of the good guys, but everybody else in there is, they're working on perpetuating the problem. And maybe I have to relook at IKEA and wonder why they're not looking at the UN resident coordinator, because they certainly know about it. I made a proposal to them about but there's no one on the receiving end to understand the value of the UN resident coordinator. The only people that will recognize it, and even they don't recognize it. I mean, Lloyd, how long have you been involved with knowing the UN resident coordinator and still say that Canada doesn't have one? Well, Canada does have one. They have an interim one. And you should know that, and you should tell these people that Canada has an interim UN resident coordinator. It's just that he's not listened to. And I've asked to be fired by the Prime Minister because he's not doing the job that needs to be done. And so these ideas, while they sound absurd, they're something that you should give thought to. Imagine writing a letter to the Canadian Prime Minister telling them that the interim UN resident coordinator for Canada should get fired or hired. one or the other. To leave them out there in no man's land doesn't help anybody. And the people in Africa could benefit by championing me at the prime minister level as the interim UN resident coordinator and have them hire me as that, so we can actually get the job done by being funded instead of the way I've been doing it. I could be much
Hello,
more
Mitch.
effective if I had support from people in Africa.
Hello, Mitch.
I'm sorry?
Yes, please, can you summarize so that others also can make their inputs?
Yeah, my summary is, listen to the frustration of the UN resident coordinator. Listen to my frustration. I've recognized that we have a solution to the problems that we're all facing at every level, every problem. Implementing UNDRIP. It's a critical problem around the world because, and likely in your country, I don't know this to be true, but because UNDRIP is not in the law, South Africa for sure, UNDRIP needs to be implemented into the laws of the country. If not, under the old Declaration of Human Rights of 1948, the indigenous people are not considered human beings. This is a shocking statement to make. I don't know how it is in other countries, but that's how it is in Canada. That's how it's in New Zealand, Australia. And I haven't looked at Sierra Leone, but I imagine it's true there too.
Yes, yes.
So my summary is, let's look to the UN resident coordinator to solve the problems that we are challenging, and stop with all the little details. Let's get the big thing is the United Nations is there, it's in place, it's just not doing the job that it need be doing, and the resident coordinator will help us get it to do what it's supposed to do.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, that's my
Thank you.
presentation.
Yes, before we go to Shen and Atama, I just want to tell you, Mitch, that for us in Sierra Leone, I think it's high time we don't rely on the UN, because absolutely the issues have been there and from history to this time. In fact, what is happening, the issues keep compiling. The issues, instead of they retrogress, they are progressing. So for me, it is high time for us to use different dynamics, different interventions, different partners, instead of just relying on these people you're talking about, who are there just sitting in beautiful cars. All right, they sit in beautiful houses, beautiful offices. The people are suffering there. They're doing nothing. So for me, I'm really fed up with all this UN or whatever you call it. All right, it's high time we move. So UnityNet African Diaspora is here together with its partners to change the dynamics. We no more don't going to rely on the UN resident coordinator or whatever. It is high time for us to apply our unity gardens, get them in practice, do what we can, look at the available resources, who are there to support us. Let us don't go meet people, but people who have the resources to come, because we have it. We have the landscape, we have all it takes to support the development process to change the dynamics. Thank you. We go to you, Shen, and then Atama.
Well,
it's time Africa.
Could I just respond for a second, Carlos?
Yes, Shen, can we have Shen? Please, Mitch, can we have Shen? And then come back to Shen and Atama. Yes, go.
Okay.
I just want to.
Can I go ahead?
All right.
Go ahead.
Okay. I agree with Mr. Michel Gold, 100%. That's where I was coming from. And I have already highlighted here on the issue of that corporation which are meeting. And I had written here that that other member there, which is called buyer, is the one which is which has all the companies which are selling the chemicals. In Zimbabwe, they have banned a chemical called DDT, if you remember, in Zimbabwe. And that DDT was causing cancer, was causing diseases of the lungs. And unfortunately, recently, I have realized that they have already brought it back, that DDT as chemical to cure mosquitoes, to spray for mosquitoes. And they are going into the rural areas. And it's the same team, the whole team which is having this event is the same team which is having all these problems we are having in Africa. So I'm in agreement with Michelle and also to you, Dr. Carlos. Thank you so much for bringing this, that we need to challenge the UN. I think our focus is now to challenge this, that you don't have to make things to dump in Africa in expense of the population or in the name of funding. But we need funding which is very faithful, not just coming in to promote the businesses of those big guys, like what Michelle said. That's all I can say. Thank you.
Thank you. We go to you, Atama.
Thank you, Dr. Carlos. Thanks everyone that on call. I wish to appreciate you all. It has been an amazing conversation. Once again, I'm Chemeza Atama, joined from University of Nigeria, Nsukka. I've been following on the conversations, and I wish to say that it's the same story of trying to show what women are going through, the need to engage them, the need to involve them, the need to care for them, the need to carry them along, that is happening everywhere. So the presentation from Sierra Leone was well taken for me, because it's the same issue that we are going through here in Nigeria. I wish to ask, I don't know whether I should say it's a question, but maybe this is not the right time to ask, but I'm going to seize this opportunity to ask the question. I have joined this group for about two months now, or thereabouts. And each time I listen to presentations, especially listening to Jane talking about boards of trustees of UnityNet, and each time I also listen to members talk passionately about what is happening in their countries across Africa. I will always expect somebody, at that level of board from Nigeria to speak on our behalf, because I'm already feeling like maybe I am talking too much about what is happening here, because it has not been long I joined the network, and I expected that, somebody presenting us here in Nigeria, but I'm not seeing that. So I would really want to know if we really have representative in the board from Nigeria. I don't know, but I've been thinking about it. I hear, even though Carlos talk about African countries, sometimes because he's from Sierra Leone, he talks about what is happening in Sierra Leone. Jane is telling us about what is happening in Kenya. I hear people from South Africa, especially at the board level. Who is representing Nigeria in the board is what I would like to know. Then secondly, there are a whole lot of events, activities coming up in Africa. One is the COP27, which all of us knows about. Here, Professor Lloyd is also telling us about the AGRF, I think, 2022 summit that is upcoming. So I would like to know what efforts that UnityNet, for instance, especially UnityNet in Africa, is making for the members of this network to participate in these important events. You know, it has really been bothering me. How do we get to participate? Because without, you know, following up on this kind of conversations, we may also miss out. I've been listening to all the conversations around since I joined, and I know that this network have some wonderful presentations that they would have even used to organize a kind of session in COP27, for instance. So I'm asking, have we given it a thought? Is there any way out? Is there any way we can participate? Once again, I thank you very much.
Yeah, Jane, go ahead. Okay, just to help to answer about who is representing Nigeria as a board member is Dr. Mary. Dr. Mary is a lecturer from the University of, I've forgotten the university. It's not University of Nigeria, but the other one. All right. He has been, I mean, she has been with us, sorry. She has been with us for a very long time, since the foundation of UnityNet Africa onto this time. And also Dr. Amidu. Yes, before Dr. Mary was Dr. Amidu, whom contributed immensely to the UnityNet International or the Global Unity Network framework. But what we notice that apart from these two people who are leaders and representing Nigeria, UnityNet Africa and Diaspora and UnityNet International, they are not in attendance in any of the sessions, the meetings. Most times you only see them posting on WhatsApp pages. We have called several meetings, several sessions. Both UnityNet Africa and Diaspora Monday meetings, as well as also the UnityNet International IUG Thursday meetings. They are not showing up. And that has accumulated to even the others that join these sessions or the groups to be inactive. So because the leaders are not active like you, so the rest are not active. And they are not contributing as what you are saying now. So it's really a missing gap. It's a big time missing element. For Nigeria, which has over 300 million people in Africa, or the largest population in Africa, we are expecting them to overshadow or to shadow all our interventions or what we are doing currently as UnityNet in Africa is absolutely the opposite. Rather, the other countries, as you are seeing now from since your intervention to now, they are the ones really moving forward. So that's the challenge we have. But we have you now, and we are expecting your kinds to join this interface, to join this intervention. Bring them along, those that you think they are committed, that they are ready to sacrifice to help Africa. Those are the people we need. And we notice that some people or so many people are joining because they are looking for a short-term benefits. They don't believe in building the infrastructural system to ensure that we have it right for the future, of which UnityNet is doing, to ensure that we have all what it takes to handle what is coming tomorrow, to address issues for tomorrow. So therefore, it's not the number, but it's the will. Even we are small, let us do it together. We can do it. Together, we can. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Carlos, for that response. Like you already noted, Nigeria is a country with a very large population. I wouldn't know the part Mary is from. I wouldn't also know the part that Amedu is from. But I think it's going to be bad for me if for instance, activities start happening at that regional level and Nigeria is not well represented. So my suggestion would be, considering the population of Nigeria, if UnityNet Africa could also consider having more than one person in the board, so that when one person is not there, the other person can represent, given the population of Nigeria. Thank you.
Okay, that's a good suggestion. It's noted, and we're going to discuss it at board level. It's noted.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. So, but what we are going to do, we are going to share with you those people, those members in Nigeria who are not active. We're going to share maybe your number. So at local level, maybe you can interface with them to know what's going on. We have done that several times, personally, to talk with them or to talk to them to see how they can add the acceleration level of participation. But yes, still is a serious concern, a serious challenge. So let's move forward, and then Nigeria can address their issues. Because if Nigeria is not ready, but the rest of Africa is ready to move. But I believe
we are ready to move, sir. We are ready. The problems are already overwhelming.
Yes.
Thank you.
I think we couldn't get Suleiman from Ghana. He's gone. And Madam Acham, is it Acham from Ethiopia?
I've just admitted it now. The one is in now. I've just admitted it.
Oh, he's here now. Okay, yes. Yes, Suleiman, hello. Hello, Suleiman. Hello, Suleiman. Okay, so Mitch, you wanted to add some contribution.
Well, I can repeat myself, but I think that you've enunciated a potential path, which is the European Union. You have their attention. The most difficult thing in any operation is to get people's attention. If you have the attention of the EU, then I suggest that you bring to their attention the UN Office of the Future and the position of the UN resident coordinators, keeping in mind that I am not representing the United Nations. I am representing the way the Office of the UN ought to be in the future. Make that clear. I am not working with the United Nations. I am here to implement programs of the United Nations that they're not doing effectively, namely UNDRIP, Declaration of Rights of Indigenous People. It is the key program that needs to be implemented globally. And that's what the UN Office of the Future is doing. And that's what you can champion that at the European Union. I think that all it doesn't matter. We got Nigeria, South Africa, we got Ghana, Zimbabwe. It's fantastic. We have all those, but we only need one person there, even from each of those countries, to say to the European Union, we need to develop the UN Office of the Future, because the UN itself is not doing the job. They are a broken institution. When I was first introduced to it, maybe I'll tell you a story. I was first introduced to the structure of the United Nations when my friend Maurice Strong, a famous Canadian interloper, he was asked by Kofi Annan to restructure the UN. Kofi Annan said, how can I organize an institution with 32 agencies? 32, that's what he had when we started. And today, believe it or not, there's 90 agencies. Notwithstanding, they shut down some things, they changed things around, but there's 90 agencies running around with the term United Nations. And they don't know how to talk to each other. I know how to get them to talk to each other. I've got within their system, there is an entity called the ICAO. They have a communications vehicle where we can communicate. Our meeting should be on ICAO-TV. We could be talking to the world through ICAO-TV. You've probably never heard of it. Go look it up. ICAO is the United Nations connector of all the airports in the world. Can you imagine a better platform? The guys that are running that platform don't know what they're doing. They leave a huge opportunity for us. When we approach the European Union, may want to say to them that we want to have the capacity of using ICAO-TV to take our message to the world. We want to educate the world of the situations in Africa and in Canada and in Mexico. We want to educate the world. So how are we going to educate the world when all the systems are broken? You can't get there through mainstream media. You might get some attention with Rockstar or something, and we'll do an event like with the Bono or something, but don't trust Bono. Bono already stripped billions of dollars from my concepts, and he used the United Nations to do it, but it was him that was responsible for it. That was the notion of the 1% solution, which is integral to the UN Office of the Future, is that in every country, the local branch has a credit card in that country, and they receive 1% of the gross product of the country into their account to administer themselves, because nobody has enough in administration. All the administration that is done now through the United Nations is graft and corruption. And we have to stop that. And I don't know another way to stop it other than by replacing the way they do business. Their business model is broken. And no one, that people have told them, but they don't know how to hear. Of course, their system is broken. The numbers are, just for example, when money gets sent into one of the 5 or 6 agencies that is eligible for receiving funds, I think they cut it down to 6 now, the 30% comes off the top twice before that goes into the field to service our problems. I can remember a story from Sheikh Hassan Cissé of Senegal. He was telling me how he once got a $50,000 grant from the United Nations, and when the guy who showed up came to talk to him, he says, "I got some bad news for you, and I got good news. I'm here. You know, we got the funds, but we only got enough funds to fund my job." that was the message. So from the $50,000, they took 30% off twice, and that left them just enough money for to have the UN I guess the coordinator was then. That was how he got paid from the one project. Anyways, I may be rambling a bit here.
Thank you, Mitch. I think this is why UnityNet is here. And so for me, I'm suggesting for us to come up with resolutions. Probably I'm suggesting to the UNAT team in Africa, together with the UnityNet International, to come up with the key resolutions and forward them to the European chambers. That these are the situations, and these are the preferred solutions. This is the way we want to go, and we need your intervention. Now that we have the European Commission is here to support the missing gaps, let's do it. So I'm encouraging the UnityNet International and UnityNet Africa and Diaspora team to come together to have action points and come up with resolutions and forward them to the European chambers for all these needed answers to be there, because for us, we are here and we are existing. And one thing I want all of us to know is the European chambers is working directly with the private sector. We are funding every government, every country, but the money doesn't go to the country's account or country's coffer. The reason because of accountability issues. So we fund directly private partners who want to create change, effective change in terms of transformation. That's exactly what we're looking for. So you see that the money can go to Ghana, but it doesn't go to the account of to the government account. It goes to the chambers or the EU Commission's account to support the private sector in Ghana, in Nigeria, in Mali, in Sierra Leone, in Kenya, in Southern Africa or South Africa, in Mozambique, etc., all these ones. So it's high time for partners for us to understand the scope of the European Commission. We are tired. And so we believe that the accountability comes directly from the private sector. So now we are here to support the private sector direct. So come up. So I'm expecting UnityNet Africa, Diaspora, together with UnityNet International to establish a roadmap and forward it to the European Commission. I think we have a serious challenge with internet connection from the rest of the presenters. And so I want us to finalize this discussion today And so I will start with Lloyd to say what he wants to say and say goodbye, and the rest. From Lloyd, we go to Juliet, we go to Dawn, we go to Hendrik, we go to Samson, and we go to Shen, Tama, and then the rest, of course, Numa Tranquil, and then finally we close. Thank you. Yes, Mitch, thank you for all your contribution. We appreciate you. Over to you, Lloyd. Just a summary.
Yep, thank you, Carlos, so much. And thank you, Mitch, for coming on the call today. I think it was really important that you are participating in these calls. Let me turn on my video. So we have a project proposal document that has been circulated that was originally produced on August 21st. So it is about a week or so old. And so that's called the GP4RD, or Global Partnership for Regenerative Development Africa Super Development Project. It's in a draft. It is 5 pages. There are 2 main components. One is the assisting the development of the seed bank network, and the second one being assisting the development of the biofertilizer production industry, looking at NPK and NPKC, and then setting up the networks that will allow that to happen, which then comes in essentially the implementation of the National Unity Garden networks, and as well with the health interventions through the Power 4 network also being attached to that. So we have this outline. I can share that with anybody who wants to connect with me afterwards. I will put my contact information one more time into the chat so people can connect with me afterward, and we can create a working group to discuss that. This was originally intended to be done so we can have a fleshed out proposal from the draft by September 9th. I'm not sure if we can do that, but we should give it a try. Thank you, Carlos.
Thank you so much, Lloyd. And indeed, that's true. So please, I want all of us to join the UnityNet International and the UNAT team to work towards what Lloyd has just mentioned. So the important aspect of it is here. If you send it to the European Commission, to my office, it goes directly to me. I'm going to receive that one, and I'm vetting all projects coming to the European Commission right now. So we have to stand a better position in terms of benefiting what is here. And remember, we have 2 phases. One, the grant, the charity, and then we have also the business or the loan, which is like almost 0.2% if you're taking €1 million or more or whatever, or 200 million euros or more. So what we need sustainable interventions that will change the dynamics. That's exactly what we're looking for. We go to, yes, anyone can say a word or two and say bye. You cannot, okay, Juliet, you are there. I thought
yes,
you
no, I am here. Yes, no, thank you again. Just to reiterate, it's Juliet Miabo. Miabo from South Africa. No, this has been a great session. And I'm just glad that we're able to jointly emphasize the need to focus on solutions, because if we focus on the problems, it will dampen our spirit, it will make us lose hope. And it's good to know that there are solutions there. And Dr. Carlos, you might have to take it upon yourself to mentor people like our speaker today, just to change the direction, to look at what can be done rather than what is the problem, because that can actually take up a lot of energy. And if that is the spirit, then that will hold us back. So that means you also have that responsibility to mentor her. Okay, but on my part, I just want to say thank you for the session. And I like the approach that we are taking, and you are emphasizing on that, Dr. Carlos, of the bottom up, because bottom up meaning we look at this, the problems and the problems and the solutions at the ground level, at the grassroots level. Because as Michelle was saying earlier on, that corporates, organizations, people who don't need the money, who don't need the funding, are the ones who are saying they're representing us. So, and those are the people who are actually not in touch with the reality on the ground. So the bottom-up approach is the one that is necessary, where we're saying what is required at a community level, at a local level, at a national level, and what are those needs? Because when you put them all together per country, they add up to be quite a lot and quite extensive. And those are the areas that our governments do not get to. So I do encourage a bottom-up approach, and to say with the European Commission and other projects that UNED and UnityNet International will come together, will put together, that's critical that we also use the bottom-up approach and try and cover as many of our countries that we have under UNED as possible, even those that are not active. You know, we need to go and pull them out of the rut wherever they're sitting and say, you raised this issue a year ago, you raised this issue 6 months ago. Can we put together a project for submission? So that will be one of the approaches that we need to do. So that means we might have to go and find those people. And then on what Michelle was saying, hopefully this is my last point, is to say that looking at what the United Nations is supposed to be doing with these 96 or so agencies, I think as UNED and UnityNet International, we can use this as an opportunity just to put a bit of pressure, and just to say, you know, that's where lobby and advocacy comes in. So on behalf of the country we represent, we put a bit of pressure, we say we have these problems, what is being done? But that does not mean we waste time and not use the opportunities that Dr. Carlos and other people are bringing up. And also that we'll do is, we can then, as much as we're going to look at solutions and try not to waste time with our governments half the time that are not helping us, but we still put pressure on our governments as well to say, here's a problem, we are keeping an eye on you, you might not be doing anything, and we might be finding solutions elsewhere, yet it is your mandate as the government to protect the people, to look after the people, to have security, to remove corruption, you know, because you might come up with all these solutions and 90% of that money can end up in corrupt hands. So we might have to look at a combined and a joint approach without moving away from what is available as an opportunity. And then as UNED and UnityNet International, whether it's through emails, through phone calls, through meetings, let's put pressure on the United Nations and our governments in that way. But let's use a bottom-up approach. And I am always grateful for this session. And thank you, Michelle. Thank you, everyone who's here. Thank you, Dr. Carlos.
Thank you, Juliet. And that's exactly what we're looking for, the bottom-up approach. For us, we leave no one behind.
Okay, I don't get it now.
All right. So,
it's not me. Someone needs to mute, please. Let's ask someone else to mute.
Yeah, right. So anyone, yes, you have maybe 2 minutes, just say, and then you say goodbye.
Okay.
Yes, Carlos, I think that one thing that we need to recognize is, you know, in a country like Nigeria, there is...
we are not seeing you.
You want to see me?
We want to see you, not me.
It's not a ghost, it's Heinrich van der Merwe here from South Africa. And, you know, I think, and it's not the first time that I hear Mitchell Gold saying, but what about the, for me, project which is supporting the people. And how can we ensure that once we started projects, there's a go-to place. There's a place where people can go to a knowledge depository. I also recognize the fact that in Africa, there's more than 1,200 universities. How many of those universities know about the existence of UnityNet and you know, the stance that we are taking? In Nigeria alone, there's something like 262 centers of higher education. We need to bring these people to the fold. We need to you know, get those people to recognize what we are trying to achieve so that we can have partners. It's people with resources, it's people with land, and people with the responsibility to work with the communities. And we need to mobilize that resource in our favor as quickly as possible. You know, so the Unity Forest is the real foundation. The real bottom-up approach is to start with a proper foundation. And we've recognized it. We're telling every week that I'm listening to Lloyd, he is talking about it. He is elaborating about it. And, you know, the next week we are talking again. And you know, the emphasis on the ground is not where it should be, and we need to get it right. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Henry. That's a fact. Of course, we need to ensure that we strengthen our cooperation with the universities, the colleges, all right? Those learning institutions, even the schools, the primary schools, the secondary schools, the technical and vocational centers. Those institutions are very, very important. They have a valuable input towards what we are doing now. So how can we enhance that one? So now we all have the assignment to ensure that we bring those people on board. Let us have representation of those people on board. Let us take UNAT, let us take UnityNet to them. Let us tell them who we are, what we are, where we are, and what we want to do. Exactly. I think this will help to spread and strengthen our scope. Remember, data is very, very important. The more, the merrier. And this is very, very important. Thank you, Henry, for that particular area. And of course, just like what Julius mentioned, it's high time together with Henry, it's high time for us to look at realistic issues, realistic interventions. Yes, every week we talk, every week we talk. Where are we? Are we just going to continue talking? We need actions now. We are to move. Thank you. So maybe, yes. So Ibrahim, yes, Ibrahim, you're there. We are far away our time, our normal time. So do you want to say something, Ibrahim? Ibrahim Suleiman. Ibrahim Suleiman is having serious internet problem. So maybe we go to Okere. Okere, do you want to unmute?
Yes, please.
Yes.
Yeah. First of all, thank you for giving us the opportunity to join you guys. We also thank you for the education.
Okay, are you there? Oh, you're also gone again. All right, Shen, can you say goodbye? Maybe just say a word and say goodbye. And if it's possible, let's see you.
I'm not sure if you could see me.
Go ahead.
I don't know if, okay, can you see me now?
Yeah, we can see you. I can see you. I don't know from Mitch.
Okay, thank you. I just want to say thank you to everyone, and also thank you to Michelle to bring a different discussion, which is very honest and which is giving us hopes that our future generation is going to be on a flat ground, which we have prepared as elders. Thank you so much.
So I just want to ask you, Shen, do you think you can do a presentation from about, is it Zimbabwe or Mozambique?
Sorry, Zimbabwe.
Zimbabwe. Can you do something maybe around what you're doing in your organization and what you think we all can do together to support Zimbabwe?
Okay, I'll make something.
Yeah, do something maybe within 20 and 25 or 30 minutes to do presentation about. We want to know the issues and how we can all, like what Lloyd and others, I mean, the team is working to ensure that what we have an integrated project that we look at so many challenges and profiles and solutions. I know for maybe we can start somewhere and then we do what we call replication. So that's exactly what we want to do. So that's why I think Lloyd and others, the team, for us to come together and have a framework and see how we can reach the European Commission, maybe the Canada, I don't know how you call it, the Canada, the humanitarian in Canada, and the USAID, of course, also the UN. For me, I'm not a friend of the UN because the UN is doing so much and all this, but after all, where are we? We are still in the serious problems. Why? So we need to take our issues to address them. Let's start from local level, and we at community level, at district level, at national level, at regional level, we look at it that way. Of course, Africa is high time. The UN has been there for decades, for many years, but we are still compounded with so many problems. So what is wrong?
Well, that's what I've been saying to you. We need to change that, and we change it. There's two options. You can ignore the United Nations and just go ahead, or you can change the United Nations. My suggestion is that we look to change it, and we change it through the one position that we know is broken. It's broken in other areas too, but the key place is at the UN resident coordinator position. And every one of you can be the UN resident coordinator from your country on an interim basis until they change the one that's there. So Carlos, you could declare yourself the interim UN resident coordinator for Sierra Leone, and as an interim coordinator, the interim coordinators will go to the coordinator and say, are you going to work with us or are you going to oppose us? That's what in Canada, I got no one to go to because the UN resident coordinator in Canada is a figment of my imagination. And I'm trying to convince you that my imagination may be a solution to the world's problem. And each one of you can be the interim UN resident coordinator from your country and contact that person and say, do you want to work with us or against us?
Thank you. Thank you, Mitch. So we go to Lloyd, and then finally, Juliet, you want to say something again, then we close.
Yes, please, if I may say, because it's linked to what you recommended to, and also it ties to what Michelle is saying, what you said about the Zimbabwe possible presentation.
Yeah.
As you know, that Zimbabwe is our immediate neighbor here in South Africa. One of the current eminent issue and in the media and everywhere is how the health system in South Africa has been, we have about 80% of people using the health system in South Africa being people from Zimbabwe. Zimbabwean doctors, yeah, 80%, but that also the presence, but let's focus on the health system. And the doctors in Zimbabwe, most of them, they're always in protest because they're not paid enough. So just on the health aspect, there's an opportunity there for a possible some form of intervention, as long as it can be protected from the government's hands of corruption, because you know, our borders are quite open and all that. So all the provinces that are closest, about 3 of them closest to Zimbabwe, are using 80% of their resources, including Gauteng, for mainly Zimbabweans. So that is an aspect where we may need help. Whoever is the UN resident coordinates in those countries, both South Africa and Zimbabwe, they're clearly not doing their work. And South Africans and South Africa and Zimbabweans are all crying to say people are sick, so they have to come this side to get help. And South Africans are saying we don't have hospitals, we don't have spaces, we don't have the funds. So this is not even just about jobs, it's about life and death issues. So maybe that could be the one aspect where we can look at an immediate intervention and a project to help with that situation. It might have to be done in South Africa because maybe the environment is more conducive, but it could focus mainly on Zimbabweans. It's one of the key issues now. You can Google it, that's happening in South Africa. The South African government is saying, we don't have enough. And yeah, so, but it's a problem, but it presents an opportunity for a project that needs to be funded.
Thank you. So can you say your bye-bye?
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm getting all heated up. I'm thinking the meeting is starting. Thank you so much for an excellent meeting. And I believe that a whole lot more action will now happen from now on, and we'll build on what has been done. Thank you. Thank you for everyone that presented and engaged.
And Lloyd, your final one, 2 minutes.
Thank you, Carlos, and thank you very much, Juliet. You're always inspirational for all of us. I want to circle back again one more time to something that Mitch said at the beginning of the call. I think what we should do is to bring attention to our local issues, to the mayor's office of every local community wherever we live. I would like to do this through Drawdown Markham and bring this to the City Hall in Markham. I would like everybody in UNAD, and this is what I want to work with Global Dawn as well, and the global hip hop industry, GHH. I want to identify people in GHH around the world in all these local communities. We are going to do a drumming on September 21st at every City Hall to bring it to attention, these issues. And they are going to escalate those issues to the whatever levels of government needs to be addressed in those countries to say, we have a problem in our community, in our local communities. This was brought to our attention during a drumming ceremony that took place at our City Hall. We need this issue to be addressed.
Generation Hip Hop.
So this is going to be the way we're going to address this at the grassroots. Every local community is going to organize ourselves to do this.
Thank you, Lloyd. Thank you so much. And Dawn, your final one, and say bye-bye.
Yes, sir. I certainly appreciate everybody, and I certainly appreciated Lloyd, and we'll definitely be tapping in all of that. And that's what we're trying to do, is fix the world, you guys. So again, definitely a pleasure being a part, and I'm learning something new every time we have a session. So thank you all. Everyone's been great.
Thank you, Dawn. And Fatmata Akam, your final one, and say bye.
Yes,
Okay.
you've got a fruitful deliberation today. Thank you so much. Everybody stay blessed and stay safe.
Thank you. And Samson? Samson, your goodbye? Okay, Atama.